Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Porantap Search Insight. First of all, wish you all very happy Valentine's Day, especially for my students who are very close to me and my near and dear ones. Now, today I am going to tell one important concept that is based on statistics is known as correlation coefficient. Why I am telling this correlation coefficient? Because in this particular day, we can see the demand of the red rose is going to high. And based on that, the price of the red rose is also going to high. So is there any sort of relationship between these two kind of, the commodities? One is the demand of the red rose, another is the price. Obviously, yes. That's why I'm going to tell the correlation coefficient. In the statistics, correlation coefficient can be two types. One is rank correlation coefficient, Spearman, that is capital R, and another is Karl Pearson correlation coefficient, that is denoted by small r. So I'm going to tell today the Karl Pearson correlation coefficient. Nothing to worry about this because we need not to think about so much formula, neither the calculation, because it has been calculated with the help of application software. So quickly I'm going to tell the simple formula to remember the Karl Pearson correlation coefficient. But prior to that, what is the basic concept of correlation coefficient? Correlation coefficient is nothing but the collinearity among the proposed variables. And at least to calculate this correlation coefficient, we need minimum two variables. And that's why today is a Valentine's Day, as I mentioned. So if we can consider, there are the two variables. One is the red rose, another one is the price of the red rose. So what is the relation in between these two commodities? That's why Karl Pearson correlation coefficient. Now correlation coefficient can be three types. One is positive correlation, another one is negative correlation, and there is third category, there is no correlation. That means correlation is technically zero. Now the range of the correlation is always lies in between -1 to +1. That means correlation cannot be less than -1. Correlation value cannot be exceed more than +1. It always lies in between -1 to +1 range. Now the part is, as I mentioned, that is the positive correlation or the negative correlation. Then again, there are the strong positive correlation. Then there is moderately correlation. Then there is, average correlation. Then there is strong negative correlation and moderate negative correlation. And there is also correlation is zero. One by one, I'm just going to tell the example. First of all, strong positive correlation. Think about, there are the two commodities we learn in the economics, especially the microeconomics, that is substitute products. Say for example, tea and coffee. When the demand, when the price of the tea is going to high, in that case, the demand of the particular commodity coffee, which are substitutes of tea, that is going to high. That means these are directly relative to each other. That means if the demand of the uh, tea is going to high, in that case, the customers usually prefer to take or purchase more number of coffees, and the demand of the coffee is going to also high. So that is a strong positive correlation. For example, the strong positive correlation is in terms of hypertension and with the parameter the blood sugar. That means if your hypertension is high, you have the comorbidity, then your blood sugar level is also going to high. So that is a strong positive correlation. Now think about how you can define a strong positive correlation. According to statistics, if your measurement value is more than 80% to in between 100%, that means 0.75 or 0.8 and above to less than 1 value, that is 0.9, 0.92, 0.95, that actually indicates a strong positive correlation. Similarly, I'm going to tell you the example of negative correlation. What is a negative correlation? Say, for example, we can observe when the price of the petrol or diesel is going to high, in that case, the demand of purchasing the car or the two-wheeler is going down. That means if your price of the particular automobile sector in the petrol or diesel price or CNG is going to high, in that case, the demand of the commodity like the four-wheeler or two-wheeler in terms of the customers, that is going down or decrease. So these are inversely proportionate. That means these are negative correlation. Negative correlation. And that is why negative correlation again can be strong negative correlation if the calculated value is minus 0.75 and above and less than minus 1. That means minus 0.9, minus 0.92, minus 0.95, minus 0.98. These are strongly negative correlation. Similarly, there is also moderate correlation. That means the correlation value when lies in between 60% to 75% or 80%. That means 0.6 and above and less than 0.8. That is average or the good correlation, but that we cannot say that is a strong positive or negative correlation. And there is also another category, that is uncorrelated products. That means the correlation is technically zero. Think logically. If the price of the particular, the rose for this particular Valentine's Day, 14th Feb, is going to increase, then what is the relation of demand of particular shoe or the particular cloth or the particular purchasing of sugar? What does it mean? There is no correlation. That means the purchasing price of the rose, especially the red rose, is going to high in today. That does not reflect the demand of purchasing the sugar or your any kind of other commodities, because or shoe or any clothes, because these are totally uncorrelated products. So in terms of uncorrelated products, that means there is no collinearity, there is no interrelationship among the proposed variables, then their correlation is completely zero. So we can measure the correlation either -1 range to +1 range. Even the correlation can be also zero. And it is very important to measure the correlation among the two or more than two variables. But remember, with the help of Karl Pearson coefficient, we cannot determine the rank order. We can only determine the collinearity or the interrelationship among the proposed variables. Now, this nowadays, with the help of application software, even in the Excel, advanced Excel option with the functions, we can easily calculate the correlation coefficient value. So for this, I'm just giving a brief about the correlation coefficient. And lastly, as I mentioned, there is a very simple formula to calculate the correlation coefficient, that is denoted by small r, which is covariance xy divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. By this, I am ending this particular concept, correlation coefficient. Hopefully you like it. If you like it, then please do share and subscribe my channel, Parantap Search Insight. See you next time. Have a nice day. Thank you.